Let's talk about brownies and ice cream and pizza. Not something you would expect a board certified nutritionist to be talking about. But what do those foods have in common? They are all perfectly designed to be extremely appealing to us. They have that wonderful combination of sweet and fatty and a little bit of protein and a little bit of salty so that our brains and our biology is pulling us toward those foods. I mean, we kind of have to eat them, right? The only reason that we don't eat them is either we just happen to not be in the mood, or we've eaten so many of them that we figure we should stop, or we're on a diet. And if we're on a diet, then we're not allowed to eat those foods. Those foods are bad. But guess what? Your biology is screaming out for you to eat those foods. It's not your fault. It's your brain registering, I know that those foods in the past have given me exactly what I want, which is energy. Your body doesn't care that those foods are fattening. As a matter of fact, this is a little known fact. We actually have quite a capacity to gain weight and be overweight and have obesity. That means survival on a human biological level, right? Think about 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, even to this day, people who are underweight are very susceptible to death, children and adults and elderly people alike. So our bodies want to have that fat, and guess what? Those foods provide it. So it's really not your fault that you want to eat those foods. That's the first thing that I want to kind of get off the table right now. The other thing that I want to get off the table is any idea that you may have that diets are successful in the long run. Generally speaking, they are not. People who are successful, when you look at the research 2 years, even a year, but 2 years and 5 years, forget about it. We're talking single digits or in the teens of people who are actually successful at losing more than 2 or 3 pounds and keeping it off in the long run. So diets don't work. We have been conditioned to believe that they do, but they don't for the vast majority of people. So that may sound pretty depressing, but there's a reason for it. There's a reason that diets don't work, and that is that they are based in a context that is not very conducive for sustainability and happiness. So I call it the fear-based context or the diet paradigm. And the diet paradigm has been designed for you to fail at dieting. It's based in fear. It's based in it's necessary that you believe that you are not perfect just as you are. You have to lose weight. The way that you look is not the way you should look. It's actually based in a non-acceptance of reality. And that dieting paradigm, it sucks. Nobody wants to be there. It's restrictive. It requires deprivation. It makes it so that you can't eat that brownie. And guess what it does? It makes you obsessively want to eat that brownie. So that fear-based paradigm, it's restrictive and it's binary. You're either on the diet or you're off the diet. It's based in fear. It is based in you're not accepting yourself for who you are. All of these things are just that lead to misery and not sustainability. So what's the alternative? Well, there's another paradigm over here that I've created and that I'm endeavoring to live my life in, and I would like to invite you to come with me over here. And not only you, invite your daughters and your sisters and your nieces and your friends, because we as women, we need to step out of that paradigm where we're constantly judging our bodies. And we're never enough. We're never enough. When we were 20, we weren't enough. And now I'm 50 and I look, wow, I wish I looked like I did when I was 16. We're never enough. That paradigm is sucky, and I want to invite you over to the love-based paradigm. And that's sustainable. And that's where you feel good, where you feel expansive about the food, and you know that the brownie is calling your name, and you don't try to deny that about yourself. In the love-based paradigm, we have tools and protocols and strategies that can help you, because you might be thinking, well, Jill, are you suggesting that all I have to do is love myself and I can lose weight? Actually, yes, I am. But it's more than that because we've been so trained and conditioned in this other fear-based paradigm that it sucks us back in so quickly. Believe me, I am just as susceptible to all of this conditioning as all of you are. So I get sucked in all the time. How do I pull myself out? Well, I've developed habits and I have protocols and tools and strategies to kind of remind myself to come back over here. And just the act of recognizing, hey, right now I'm in that fear-based context and I'm doing that old pattern of thinking. Even just just being aware of that is really important first step, because then you can try to shift. And even if you don't do it successfully, that's okay. You're improving and you're working in the right direction. So we're always going to operate in that state of kind of duality of fear versus love. There's always going to be that tinge of fear. We're never going to get rid of fear. But the question is, how do we approach that? We may never stop having those negative thoughts about, oh, my butt or my belly or my thighs or, my triceps or whatever it is. We may never stop having those thoughts. The question is, do we have tools and strategies to approach them so that we can reorient ourselves to a love-based context and therefore move on and forward and feel good in the process? Because the goal for me is that I want for you is that you lose weight with ease. And it may be gradual, but you're doing it with ease and love and freedom and expansiveness. And we have lots of tools and strategies around that. One of the biggest things that the diet paradigm trains us to think that we have to do is use willpower. Oh, that brownie sitting right there. I'm just going to use my willpower to not eat it. That is a terrible idea. That is the worst idea in the world. It doesn't work. Well, it may work a couple times, but it's not sustainable. So what we do is, rather than relying on willpower, we help you set up your environment for success. What does that look like for you? Well, it's always personalized. The diet dogma paradigm is very dogmatic. We're going to bring you over here where it's personalized. And you are setting up your environment for success based on your needs. This is how you're able to lose weight with ease. It's not just love. There's all this stuff that wells up from the spring of self-love, the practice of self-love. We don't expect you to just wake up in the morning going, I love myself, I'm awesome, no matter what I do. No, what you eat matters. What you do matters. But are you approaching it from a place of self-hate and loathing and disgust, or even just a mild sense of, I don't like the way I look? Or are you approaching it from, I love and accept myself the way I am? And I know that I've had challenges here, but I'm learning and I'm growing, and I'm going to take actions that move me in the right direction. And I'm going to do it gradually. I'm going to do it with love. And that feels good. It just feels totally different. And you know that. Just from listening to it, you know there's a big difference. And this way of doing it in the love paradigm over here, the love context, is way more fun, and it's done with ease, and it is sustainable. It is sustainable. Inspired action. That's what I call it. Inspired action. I'm inspired to care for my body because I want to give this body love. Self-care is self-love in action. So every act of self-care is an act of self-love. So you hear what I'm saying? Self-love is a practice. It's not just a sort of a thought that's kind of vague and nebulous, and you're like, I don't really know what that means. No, well, let's take that self-love and put it into practice. That's what we do in our program, and the entire program is based on that, on making it easy for you to lose weight and to do it in a loving way. It's called the Win Weight Loss Program. It's a 24-week program, and you are guided, you are held every step of the way, because we know that we're also conditioned to this other fear-based model. We've created protocols, strategies, recipes, guidance, support. I mean, pretty much all of the support that you will need so that you can start to transition into this love-based model and lose weight with ease and enjoy the process. And I'm going to invite you to join us. Join us over here. We need all women need to be rejecting that paradigm that's been imposed upon us, that notion of what defines beauty. It's been imposed upon us. That notion of what defines health has been imposed on us. We need to reject it and step away and come over here and say, no, I am empowered. I am confident. I am doing this for me, not for somebody else. I know what I need for my body because everything we do is personalized, and you have that body wisdom. And when you tap into that body wisdom, it's empowering, it's confident. You're doing it from a place of love. This is where I'm inviting you to come over here with me and invite your sisters and your daughters and your nieces, because we all need to, whether you do the Win Weight Loss program or not, the point is the thinking, I want all of us to come over here and be over here because that's empowering and it feels good and it's confidence building. And that's the life that I want to live, and that's the life that I want for you.